We're back. And yeah, it surprised me that we're back too, but it just keeps on keeping on.
Yeah.
River Talk 2.0. Deacon.
Yes, sir.
Before you put on that hat for our Southern word of the day, I want to challenge some folks to really do some soul searching. We have a lot of folks that have moved into our neck of the woods.
Well, sure. Go ahead, Jack. Gotta know who I am addressing here.
Well, if you've never eaten okra or even wanted to, that's probably a clear sign that you're not from this area.
Got that right.
Yeah. If you wonder why people in restaurants never talk as loudly as you do, that's a good staple.
Right.
Of somebody not being from around here.
But you're welcome, folks, to come down here because you do wear cotton, I'm sure.
I wear a lot of it.
And we are known to have cotton here. We got big old fields of shirts and pants and stuff down here.
You got your plantation hat on.
Yes, sir. Going to teach you folks how to speak Southern if you don't know how. Now, here's our word for today, and I get this mixed up sometimes by finding gutter down. Pecans. You know what I'm talking about? Now, Northerners call them pecans.
Yeah, right, yeah.
Yeah, for some obscure reason. But they are thin-shelled nuts that translate themselves wonderfully into the Southern delicacy called pecan pie. Ooh, oh, yeah, baby. That's what I'm talking about. Yummy, yummy, tickle my tummy. All right. That was our word for today. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. I do this every day, same time, same station.
Until we change our mind.
Yeah, till we get fired.
Yeah. How you?
I'm good. How are you?
Good to see you.
Thanks for
It's
having
Jennifer
me.
Johnson here. We're going to talk a little radio.
Lily, I was getting ready to call her Lily Palooza.
That's the name of the event.
I know. I was going to say, here's Lily Palooza.
Here it is.
So you're in radio sales.
I am.
Oh, yeah, the lifeblood of radio, man.
Yeah.
Lifeblood.
Yes, sir.
That's probably strange to you coming from a guy that was in front of the microphone, but sales is what pays the bills.
I know nothing about sales.
Yeah, definitely.
Right.
Pays the paychecks.
Yeah, right, exactly.
You got to have those salespeople.
Well, they would always just come to us and say, we're going to sell you. Sell me? Yeah, you're on the radio. We're selling your show. I mean, that's how I learned about all this stuff. So I'm not particularly. I bet and it's funny because most DJs, they think we are salesmen. Well, we are on the air.
Right.
But probably if you went door to door or went out on the street, you couldn't sell nothing.
Oh, I could. I was
Well,
great.
you probably could.
I was great in
Yeah, you
sales.
probably could, but I always feel guilty. It's like, it's like, well, I don't know if I ought to.
I loved sales. I still do.
Well, I don't mind it, but. It's I just kind of feel guilty sometimes
You
because
just
I don't
wanted to
believe
do
in
your
what I'm
four
selling.
and out the door.
Well,
That
if you
was
don't
it.
believe in what you're selling,
Yeah.
and there's been several times I didn't believe in what I was selling.
But then you don't sell it.
Right.
Yeah.
Like Caterpillar coats.
Right.
I was trying to put a bunch of caterpillars, get enough together to build a coat. You know what I mean?
Right.
I just didn't believe in it, so I quit. I said, it's just too hard to work. But I want to know how
What's
you're
the name of
selling
the
this
company?
stuff. Yeah, what is
now?
this
I mean,
deal?
because so
It's
many
changed.
Yeah.
You got to roll with it in the
3 or 4
business.
times
Yeah.
since I was over there.
It's DBC Radio.
Okay, DBC.
DBC Radio. Yes. So
Now, what's that stand for?
it stands for Dick Broadcasting Company. So that's why we say DBC Radio.
Okay.
You can imagine when I go into a customer and say the full name, the reaction I get. I work for,
Yeah, absolutely.
so we now say DBC Radio. But the actual owner's name is Alan Dick. So it's
Great
Right.
company.
Yes, it is a great
It's a
company.
great company. They had roots up in North Carolina.
Yes.
Between Raleigh
Southern
and yeah.
company.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
They're good folks.
Yes.
Asheboro, Greensboro. That's my ties with the company.
Yes.
So they're good. Good
Yes.
folks.
I love it.
So how many stations are under that umbrella now?
5.
Okay.
Yep. We have WRNN 99.5, Hot
Uh-huh.
Talk. We have Wave 104.1, Classic Rock. We have 96.1, Alternative Rock. Energy 92.1, which is top 40. And then we have our new and really much liked Hank 105.5,
Hank,
Classic Country.
105.5.
I
like
know
it.
old Rick.
Yes.
Yeah, Rick Roberts.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I love him a hard time.
He deserves every bit of it
Got
too.
that right, buddy.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Well, those are some of the premier stations over there.
They are. It makes my job a little bit easier.
You were back over at KZQ before I got here.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of replaced you in a roundabout way.
It took a year for somebody to replace me. That's how bad I was.
Right.
Well, I've definitely heard your name around the office.
Oh, you have?
Yeah.
I still owe money over there. I had to pay them to work.
Yeah.
Well, that's kind of cool, isn't it? That's
Yeah.
kind of neat. Yeah.
Well, what got you into the game?
Yeah.
I needed a job.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, and I'd sold advertising before, and my daughter had cancer.
Oh, wow.
And so I needed to find a job after she got well, and a girlfriend of mine says, I can get you a job at the radio station. I was like, why not?
Okay. Well, you
could
done
do
media
that.
sales on the cable side.
Yeah, I'd done media sales, and I'd done mortgages, and I'd actually had my own business at one point. So I was like, I got this.
Okay, yeah.
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 So
Well,
it's
owning your
great.
own business has got to be a real plus when it comes to selling radio.
It is, because I
advertising.
understand what the small business owner goes through. I mean, I've had the decision, do I keep the lights on or do I advertise? I need people in my door, but I really got to pay the electricity. So I've been in their shoes and understand it. So it does help a lot when you go, dealing with the small businesses out there. Because
That's awesome.
I understand what they're going through.
You're a good
Radio's
talker.
changed so much since even when I was in, I'm still in the market in a roundabout way, but I don't, compete with the beach stations. But it's changed so much. The names, the players.
It has, but it has and it hasn't, because it's had to change with the times, just as everything else has. But radio is still the #1 reach medium.
Sure is.
Unfortunately, people
We're
aren't.
on TV, but radio reaches more people. Okay.
Right.
Yeah.
It does.
It does. I
Sorry.
like
Well, it
radio.
does.
I'm a
I mean,
champion
yeah.
for radio. I love
that-
TV
yeah.
as
It
well.
does.
Let's be honest
Um,
about it.
I'm all about radio.
The only
man.
people that are reading the paper are pretty, that's kind of gone by the wayside. Everybody gets their news electronically.
Sure.
So, yes, times have changed, but radios remain the same because people want it. It's free. It's local. They can find out what's going on with the traffic, why they're sitting in traffic, what the weather is, things like that. So,
Man, it's just convenient anyway. I mean, you got all your devices
And
that
you don't
hook
have
to
to
your
pay for
car,
it.
and yeah,
Well,
and that's the bottom line.
And you are the only company that someone riding down the road, when I would address an audience, I always felt like, I was talking to somebody. I was in their dash, but I was talking to them while they were driving alone. And I was their only buddy they had at the moment, and I was giving information and playing their favorite songs, hopefully.
Absolutely. They feel like they know you.
Right.
Just like I came in, I said, I feel like I know you.
Yeah, there you go.
You do.
So-
You just from hearing that voice on the radio
Yeah.
every day, the cool thing with it is they have a good chance to get out in the community and be involved. Radio really allows our program directors, our DJs, to get out there and do fun things with the community. So it's really good.
Did plenty of that.
Well, it
Lot of
sounds like
fun.
you've embraced the whole advertising game. But I want to back up a little bit because
Yeah.
you said your daughter had cancer.
Yeah, let's talk
Yes.
about
I can't
that.
even fathom that.
Yes,
Uh,
she did. My daughter was diagnosed with leukemia when she was 6 years old, December 8, 2011. And she was on treatment for 2 years and 9 months, almost 3 years.
Jeez.
So, while she was on treatment, I started a fundraiser called Lily Palooza. We've always loved music around our house, and so we started a fundraiser named Lily Palooza, and this year is actually our 8th annual. It is an all-day barbecue, silent auction, festival. We've got bands that play. We've got bounce houses, all sorts of things for the kids, and merchandise for sale. And it's just a really good time. We have princesses. I was just talking to Sindra, princesses and things that come out. And all the children's activities are free, and so you don't have to pay to get in. We keep it that way because when my daughter was sick, there were times that I didn't have 2 nickels to rub together,
sure,
and
yeah.
I
Oh, yeah.
understand that, and I want people to come out and be able to see the kids with cancer, be able to realize that they're normal kids just like everybody else. And so we keep all of the children's activities free, and it's just a really fun day.
Where's it held?
We're doing it at Wicked Tuna this year.
Okay.
We have previously done it at the Beaver Bar, but we have switched to the Wicked Tuna. We have kind of outgrown that area. We need a
Right.
little bit more space. And the view is fabulous.
Sure.
And so we're really excited to do it at the Wicked Tuna this year.
What's the date?
September 15th. It's
All
going
right.
to be September 15th, which is always a Sunday. It's always the 3rd Sunday in September because September is Childhood Cancer Awareness Month.
All righty.
So it's September 15th from noon until 6.
Well, did you launch Cancer Heroes of the Carolinas?
I did.
Okay.
I did. This is our first year. I've done Lollapalooza forever, and we just decided to start our own 501(c), and what Cancer Heroes of the Carolinas does is we help the families and the children with cancer. We do anything from their bills, such as, electric, water, things like that, car insurance, help with. We also provide gas cards to get them to and from the hospital because none of the children can be treated here locally. They all have to go away to MUSC or and so we help with things like that, food cards for when they're in the hospital, just the everyday expenses, because normally when a child is diagnosed with cancer, one, if not both of the parents lose their income because they cannot work and have to take care of their child. So we handle anything that might come up that they need. And
you've kind of been taking notes from the Shriners Hospital. You've got all things figured out, don't you? Now, let me ask you about that catchy name, Lily Palooza.
Yes, that's named after my daughter.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
I was wondering about that.
And as with when we were talking about the radio advertising, this has a little bit different. We have some other